ZilckSound.
You're tuned into ZilckSound, where business gets real, trends get broken down, and you walk away sharper than when you hit play. Brought to you by Zilck.com. Practical news for the modern entrepreneur. Now, here's your host, Rob Henley.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to ZilckSound. I'm Rob Henley. Thanks for spending part of your week with us again. This is our 12th episode. And hey, this isn't an episode about which AI tool to download. It isn't a roundup of 10 apps promising to 10 times your productivity. And it's not another warning that AI is coming for your job. This is about something quieter and worse. AI didn't just save you time, it took away every excuse you've been leaning on to not do the thing you keep promising yourself you'll do. Every excuse except one. That one was never about capability, and by the end of tonight, you'll know exactly which one it is because it's already sitting with you. Here's the part that should unsettle you. The excuses, right? You didn't lose your excuses gradually. They were taken from you one at a time over about 18 months, and you barely noticed it happening. I don't have the technical skills. Gone. Describe a product in plain English and watch it appear on screen. I can't afford to hire help. Gone. A few dollars a month now does what used to require a salary. I don't have time. Gone. What 8 a weekend now takes an afternoon. No design eye, no writing voice, don't understand marketing. Gone, gone, gone. All excuses are gone. Recently, I've been watching something I can't unsee anymore. A few months ago, I sat across from someone who'd been circling the same idea for 2 years. He had the name picked out, a logo he'd never finalized, a document full of notes titled, I'm quoting this exactly, Final Plan V7, version number 7. Yeah, super familiar. I asked what was still stopping him. He said, completely straight-faced, that he was waiting until he had time to learn the skills properly. I told him the skills he was describing no longer needed learning. The wall he'd been standing behind wasn't a wall anymore. It was a gate that had rusted open years ago, and he was still knocking. He didn't say anything for a long time, and here's what happened. AI didn't make starting a business easier. It made the pretext for not starting unbearably thin, and that's a worse deal than it sounds like because excuses are comfortable. They're load-bearing walls. For most of us, I can't do this yet has done quiet structural work, protecting us from the thing we're actually afraid of. Strip away the practical excuses and you're left standing in front of something you can no longer blame on circumstances. If you've been following along, some version of this has probably kept you up too. Advertorial pause. If you'd rather sit with an honest reckoning than chase another 3-step fix, subscribe. Catch our episodes every Monday. We publish these weekly after we've thought about them for a long time, and when there's something worth saying that we've discussed among peers, not on a schedule built to game an algorithm. The bell's there if you want to know the exact moment the next one lands. Now, back to the excuse that's still standing. Let me give you the sharpest version of this I've seen because it isn't hypothetical. There's a writer I know, genuinely good. She spent 3 years telling people her book was in progress. Then the tools arrived, drafting got faster, editing got easier, research that used to eat a week now took a morning. And here's the part that should make you feel itchy. The closer the book got to being finishable, the more reasons she found not to finish it. First, it was the outline, then the voice, then, and this is the one I can't stop thinking about, the worry that publishing with AI-assisted tools was somehow cheating, as if the reader waiting for a book that doesn't exist cares what software she used. At the risk of catching fire, that wasn't cheating. It wasn't perfectionism, though she called it that. It was the exact moment the excuse ran out, and all that was left was whether she could survive being judged. The technology didn't create that fear. It just took away every place it used to hide. So let me say it plainly, because nobody who's had this conversation wants to. AI removed every excuse except the hardest one, because the hardest one was never an excuse at all. It was a question you've been avoiding every time you called it something else. What if I try with every advantage finally in place and it turns out the problem was me? That's the fear. Dressed up in productivity language and handed a very organized to-do list. The issue is that you're finally able to do the thing and therefore finally responsible for whether it happens. No tool generates the willingness to be seen trying. No prompt removes the risk of being ordinary in public. Everything that could be automated has been automated. What's left, the part you keep putting off, was never a skills problem. It's a standing in front of the thing problem. We touched on this earlier. The gap between how this looks from the outside and how it feels from the inside is not a personal failure. Remember that? So here's the only move I'll suggest, and it's small. Take the thing you've been waiting until you're ready to start and give it 20 minutes tonight. Not to finish it, to prove to yourself the door was actually open the whole time. On earlier episodes, we spoke about ending things we don't have any intention of doing once and for all, but this time, let's make the ones we want to do count. Thank you for listening. If this landed or if it completely missed, tell us on social media. The excuses are gone. What's left is yours. I'm Rob Henley, and this is ZilckSound.
ZilckSound. ZilckSound.